Cramped drivers, cheap plastic housing. Mass-produced excrement. These animals pleasure themselves in it. Collectors, art students, tourists, tote bag owners, the whole dim herd. You see this? Each one guaranteed for 10,000 replays. Obscene! That's right. Imaginative faculties dulled by senseless repetition. Forgive me, friend. I'd mistaken you for a common replayer. Too much to ask, I expect, that you're a fellow Einzelton aficionado? One of a fast-fading few. Go ahead, browse away. My name's Petre. If you need anything, I'll be here, lamenting what's left of the culture. Culture? Portophiran? Scraps. This new Lucian mania is all-consuming. Nobody wants anything that isn't techno-fascist trash, including, apparently, their own souls. Provincial, but honest. Silk, sad national poetry. Music, the same kinds they play in the so-called developed world, except a couple decades late and desperately effortful.
Incapable of competing with Lucian media. On the most basic neurological level. Fuck this. You want blood, dopamine, wolves.
Yes, exactly. Nice. That's why I'll be here, enjoying the front row seat to the downfall of culture. That is my punishment. Taste. That would be preferable to the truth of things. There is no politics to it that they can see. They just want something they can idiotize themselves with. But you'd think we had run out of brick walls. I take it this means Luz hasn't managed to make it into wherever you're from. Good for you. Financially tolerable, morally abhorrent. Every day there's new formats, categories, each one more depraved than the last. Of course, I can't say that out loud. Customer, you know?
He says it to everyone.
Picture a dog that shits, then eats it, then shits again. That should give you some idea. People are what they consume. I'll say no more. I thought you might, my friend. Sick fucking world. Still, we persevere. Or at least we persevere to persevere. Einzelton X. To give it its proper title. The one true format. The apex of auditory technology. A high-fidelity yet dynamic sonic experience that self-effaces after a single play. X remnants. Zero remnants. The aftermath of a magnetic charge once you take the field away. The Einzelton magnets are so potent that the erasure is absolute. The X is meant to represent the negative, the complete absence of sound or vision. This was a very conceptual time for storage media, you understand. It was a very beautiful time, too. Correct. It erases acid plays. The inherent idea being, of course, that you never play an Einzelton and have a more profound experience because of it. Some say that was the intention behind the red color scheme, a warning, so you would never misplay it. I think it was an aesthetic choice, personally. With Einzelton XR, the first time is the only time. A magnet embedded in the disc erases its contents as it's being listened to. As in life, everything happens only once. Replayability is oblivion, the end. It loses its resale value, and the uninspired replayer who listened to it loses a piece of their soul. Oh, yes. Completely. Though they'd have to have been pretty soulless to play it in the first place. What do I look like to you? A common replayer? Good. I own several, if the word ownership applies to such a delicate relationship, but I would sooner molest myself than an Einzelton XR disc. Where did you get this? Einzelton hasn't been available to consumers for a decade. A disc in good condition is worth thousands of sold to people who appreciate its wonders. Provided it's well cared for and unplayed. Filthy animals. Those. Better they recalled them all years ago. Better a mass manufacturing fault than this, to save them from this humiliation from being passed around like...
A light switch flips off in his eyes. He handles it as reverently as if it were a tiny plastic coffin.
I'm sorry. UV can only be ultraviolet. Degenerate Lucian Electrodross. There's a new fabricated star every day, it seems. But she's the top of today's pile. Lucky you. This ultraviolet has gone missing at the moment. Kidnapped by counter-fascist radicals, whatever that means. Lucian marketing plot, if you ask me. Mystery, fragility, trying to add something of the legendary to her status. Things like her make me almost miss the days the Lucians were marching on the colonies. None of this is the Einzeltones' fault, of course. They can't control what gets seared upon them. You seem to have misunderstood my soliloquy. It's done. No mass. The beauty and the tragedy of the format. I hope you dispose of it with dignity. I think a private ceremony would be most appropriate. Yes. Yes. Very great.
The vendor's eyes narrow behind his orange lenses.
This is a media store, not the missing persons division. Also one of the GMs with questions like that. I try. So most of humanity fades into an indistinguishable morass of banality. This colleague, what does it look like? The sock boy. Dialectical looking glasses. Air of advanced virginity. I said nothing about conscious. I encounter 2, maybe 3 sentient beings per day. But yes. Yes, he came by here. Little communist lost. Adrift among the many wonders of the free market. Air of a child hastily abandoned at a fire station, waiting on a mother who won't be coming back. Well, viewed might be a stretch. Let's just say the man was definitely mobile. He was dreaming big, I'll give him that. Also dreaming moronic. Your dialectical friend mistook himself for some sort of big money businessman. He wanted the bazaar to import superblock hosiery. Socks to start with, but there was talk of cotton tights, even stockings if the venture took off. No. And to be honest, I wouldn't have wasted the stock. He seemed immune to music. You're joking, of course. He didn't even know what a velo disc was, let alone an Einzelton. At a certain point, I'm just debasing myself. Of course not. I don't sell socks. So is he all right, your man? Or what? Yes, yes. We are all so well intended. I'll be blunt. Are you with a weeping eye? Because they've been especially active here recently. Usually they just let things slide. All the Lucian merchandise. Good for everyone. But these days, they're staring right at us. Unblinking. keep them. If things get too hot, I can always slit my wrists with a shard of Velodis before they take me down. My point is, your colleague was asking questions. Now, something's obviously happened, and here you are, also asking questions. Given the current climate, no one wants to answer these questions, least of all, me. I'll tell you what I told your sock friend. Speak to the boatman down by the vest docks. He's the one who knows the underground goings-on around here. We're just the vendors. The cool one. Excessive sunglasses. Relaxed aura, likely on a boat. No way of confusing him. Wonderful. Now for all our sakes, please say no more. If you want to talk media formats, I'm your man. This other stuff...
Missing? Is he? I'm not surprised. That fool and his friend would wander into the jaws of a lion if they were told to. That TV show. Idiot with a bag on his head, your regular stop for hysterical lies, paranoia. Every night at 9 p.m. The old fool was always regurgitating whatever he had heard on there the next day. It's no wonder it eventually led him into trouble.
Underlying the criticism is a lament that his own paranoia has no willing audience.
Shelves are over there. Mostly crass replayable formats, but such is the degenerate society we live in. Maybe not. The bazaar is closing up soon. Another day, another cultural molestation.
A low, tilting shelf marked in heavy block letters. Despised subgenres. Various sections are separated by narrow plastic dividers, each one labelled with the same neat script. A baffling assortment. Hairdresser music, children's choirs, self-love anthems, opinionated female vocalists, and too many keyboards. A single label fills up the entire back row. L-pop. Leloux's state-sanctioned popular music format. Algorithmically optimized, ideologically vetted, and chemically catchy.
There are vomit bags behind the bin should the urge arise. What galls me is that it doesn't matter how I label any of it. These animals thank me for being thorough, then bite too. Still crass music on a crass replayable format, but at least it's not an active attempt to idiotize the population. I'll give you that.
You turn your attention away from the shelf. Canned beverages are lined up like brightly coloured soldiers, neatly regimented behind coiled springs. The can makes a pleasant thump as it lands. The refreshments remain dormant in their artificially chilled chamber.
The fire exit stands conspicuously ajar. Someone has wedged it open with a ball. Wrong. Ball wants to play, not wedge. Nobody is paying any particular attention to the door, or seems close enough to care. Suspiciously nonchalant. They're just going about their days. It's a pelota ball, the local variation of handball. Pelota balls are not designed for use as doorstops. Someone has elevated this ball to contraption status. An affront to workers' safety. Confine it to the gulag of the pocket. It's just a ball in a door. A hallway. It's just a fire exit. A fine place to hide in a moment of crisis. Marked and remembered. No, it's a trap. Must be destroyed. The fire exit remains ajar, ball wedged into the crack. The fire exit remains ajar, ball wedged into the crack. You pocket the ball and close the fire door firmly. The gate is bound to the pole by a thin steel chain. The gap between leaves little room for passage. Rust speckles your fingertips. A system compromised at the subatomic level. You push the gate. The metal creaks, but it doesn't move. It's held fast by a rusty chain. We're gonna need tools for this one. You approach the steel door. Faint oxidation halo spread across it, blooming like algae on a sunken wreck. No response. There's still no response. It's locked. Still locked, somewhat inevitably. Try one of the many doors that are not locked, or the open-air black market, which happily doesn't feature doors at all. You step back from the door,